Hello guys, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can automate the process of retrieving geographical information of a list of places like this using Python. And we're going to make use of a geocoder to do this. And if you're wondering what geocoding actually is, geocoding is basically the process of transforming places, names or addresses into coordinates. Now the library that we are going to use for this purpose is called GeoPandas library, and if you haven't seen my complete beginner's guide to GeoPandas library, you may want to check that out, which shall basically provide you a very solid foundation at a beginner's level when it comes to comfortably using the GeoPandas library. And in addition to that, we are also going to make use of the Pandas library. Now along with GeoPandas, we have to install another module called Geopa in order to do this task. So I'm going to open up the Anaconda prompt, right click and run it as the administrator. And to install, all you have to do is simply type pip install Geopa, and when you hit enter, you will see something like this once the installation is completed. And that means we can get started with retrieving the coordinates of the places that I showed you guys just a few minutes ago. So the code editor that I'm going to use for this purpose is Spider IDE, and right over here if I go over to my Files tab, you can see the current folder that I'm working in. So I'm going to right click over here, go to new, and I'm going to create a new Python script. And I'm going to type extract coordinates.py. That's going to be the name of my script. And let's just have a good look at the file which contains the locations for which we would like to extract the coordinates. Now that file is called Capital Cities. It's a CSV file. So if I open that up, this is how the file basically looks. We have one heading called country and another column heading called capital, and it's basically the name of the country along with the capital city. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to extract the latitude and longitude coordinate for each of these fully automatically using a geocoder. And now since you have a good understanding of the structure of this CSV file, I'm going to go ahead and close that file, and we can get started simply by importing the Pandas library first. I'm going to import pandas as PD and import geocode. Alright, now let's try to read the CSV file that I just showed you guys. So I'm going to add a comment over here saying that we are going to read the CSV file as a Pandas DataFrame. So I'm going to assign a variable name called capital cities, and that's going to be equal to pd.readCSV. Over here we just specify the path, and I can just simply go ahead and copy this and paste it over here, and the name of the file is capitalcities.csv. Alright, now I can simply hit F5 in order to execute this command. And I can have a quick look at the capital cities variable by simply typing .head, which will print out the first 5 lines of the capital cities Pandas DataFrame. And over here you can see that we have loaded up 2 columns, country and the capital. And if you go over here to the variable explorer, you can even double click and view it in a bit of a clear manner like this. So it goes all the way up until 21. And just like this we can see the country and the capital. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 more columns to this Pandas data frame called longitude and latitude during this process of extracting the coordinates, and I'm going to specify the corresponding longitude and latitude coordinate in front of this capital city. So finally what we can do is we can basically save this Pandas data frame into another CSV file which contains the longitude and the latitude columns as well. So now the next step would be to iterate through this Pandas data frame, and for that we can use a for loop, and we can say for index row in capital cities.iterRows. And if this line of command look a bit unfamiliar to you guys, what you can do is you can always just print out stuff and see what happens. For example, if you want to print out index, and if you run this code, what gets printed out into the IPython console over here is just the index. And instead of the index, if I put row over here, I think you guys can imagine that the set of rows that you guys just saw will get printed out just in this manner. And if you would like to select a specific item, for example, in this case, let's say the capital city, you can always specify the column heading capital, and if you run the loop, you can see that now it's extracting just the capital, just the name of the capital city. Alright, I'm going to leave this as it is so that each time when we run this loop, it'll be clear for you guys which capital city it's actually passing through, because it'll be sort of running through all these capital cities in order to extract the coordinates. So I'm going to leave this as it is, and the next step would be to create another variable, and I'm going to name it as information, or basically coordinate information. And I'm going to use geocode. And over here we have to provide a couple of things. Now, for the geocoder to run properly, we need a few arguments. So before I actually run through this entire set of lines, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create maybe a test variable called x, just so that I can demonstrate to you guys how this geocode actually works. The first argument that I need to provide is basically the location. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a name of a famous city. It can even be a name of a building, a monument, or even a city that's not even well known. So you guys can try it out, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to stick with this. And let's say, for example, I want to extract the coordinates of Helsinki. So I need to specify this as a string over here. And the next argument that I need to provide is basically a name of a provider. Now, there are various providers that we can actually make use of, both free ones and commercial ones. But for this tutorial, I'm going to use a free provider called nominatim. And we have to pass another argument called user agent, which basically could be an identifier of any kind. You can even set your own name. I'm just going to provide a name called, let's say, XYZ. And finally, I'm going to specify another argument called timeout, which is going to be equal to 5. Now, what the timeout argument does is it's basically specifying how many seconds are you actually willing to wait until you can get a response when it's actually searching for the coordinates. So now if I press enter over here, you can see that it's going to take a couple of seconds, and after a while, you can see that the code got executed. And if I go to my variable explorer over here, you can see that it actually managed to retrieve the X and Y coordinates over here of Helsinki, as well as an address over here. I'm not going to bother about this much. Now, having the full address might be more relevant, especially if you are searching for locations like monuments, universities, buildings, things like that. But since I'm interested in the location of the city itself, my interest will be only on this column, which is this geometry column. And inside the geometry column, you can see that we have the longitude and the latitude coordinates right over here, and so that it's just going to be a matter of extracting these and writing it into two new columns of this capital city's data frame. And we'll see how we can do that. Alright, now since you guys have a good understanding of how to use this geocode function, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically copy this over here and, well, provide the variable name to be information. And just so that if you guys are curious to know the type of this X variable, it's going to be a GeoPandas geodata frame. And that's why you see that special geometry column inside that GeoPandas geodata frame. And instead of providing one specific string over here called Helsinki, I'm just going to let my for loop take over. And during each iteration, I'm just going to automatically let this raw capital to decide what the name of my location is going to be. So as you can see over here, during each iteration, it's going to jump from one to another all the way up until the final location. So that takes care of extracting the XY coordinates into a variable called information. And now let's try to see how we can exactly retrieve those X and Y coordinates maybe to a new column. Alright, so if I work with this X variable again over here, you can see that if I type x.geometry, you can see the geometry type over here, and we have the X and Y coordinates. And if I specify the location, in this case, specifically it's going to be at the 0th location when it comes to its index. So I'm going to specify the location to be 0. And what happens is this will sort of print out the dot itself or the point itself. And that's because if you check the type of this entire thing, it's going to be a shapely point. And the way to extract xy coordinates from a shapely point is simply by specifying .x at the end, and that's going to give you the x coordinate. Similarly, you can extract the y coordinate as well by simply typing .y at the end. And I think you guys can imagine that most of our work is done over here. And now all we have to do is simply create 2 new columns and assign those 2 x and y coordinates accordingly for each city during each iteration. Alright, so the way to do that would be simply by saying capital city. And during each iteration, I'm going to pick the corresponding row by the index, and I will create a new column called longitude, which is going to be equal to basically what we discussed over here, but in this case, instead of the x variable, it's going to be a variable called information or coordinate information. And similarly, I'm going to make a copy of this line, and in this case it's going to be another column called latitude, and instead of the x coordinate, the latitude is going to be the y coordinate. Alright guys, so now let's run the code and see what happens. You can see that during each iteration it's actually going to take a couple of seconds, because during each iteration it's trying to find the exact coordinates of these particular locations with the help of this nominating provider. Alright, as we can see over here, we are done with the overall process, and I can go to this variable explorer, and if I open up the capital cities, now you can see that it has beautifully extracted the corresponding longitude and latitude information into 2 separate columns, just like this, for all the cities that we have over here. And well, this kind of an approach is going to be extremely helpful. Let's say, for example, if you are going to have a list of hundreds of cities, it's definitely going to be a tedious task if you had to do it manually. So this kind of an approach is definitely going to save you tons of time, and it's going to make your life much easier. Alright guys, so that's about it. Before we wrap up the tutorial, I would like to also show you how to save this new capital cities variable into a new CSV file. Now all you have to do is simply say to CSV, and I can provide the path. In this case, I would like to save it at the same place where I have kept my Python script, so I'm not going to provide the entire path. I'm just going to say cities with coordinates.csv, and if I hit enter, and if I navigate back to the place where I keep my files, you can see that this file got generated, and I'm going to open that up, and over here you can see that quite conveniently everything got printed just like we expected. Alright guys, now you might be wondering what happens if the program is actually not able to locate the corresponding coordinates of a particular place or a location. For example, if I open up this capital cities file, and let's say I'm going to enter some very random text over here, and for sure Nominatim is not going to be able to find this. Maybe something right over here as well. And in such kind of a case, let's see what we can do. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run the script again. And you can see that for the first city, it's running fine, and as soon as it reaches this second text, it's not going to be able to track and identify the corresponding coordinate, isn't it? And that results in this kind of a type error. Now what I'm going to show you here is a way to sort of skip over these type errors so that it'll keep on reading the rest of the cities even if the provider is not really able to find the location of a given specific name. And I'm going to do that simply with the help of an exception handler. So all you have to do is simply say try to execute this process. It needs to be indented over here. I'm going to specify the exception. Except for type error. In case if you encounter a type error, what we need to do is maybe we can just print out some sort of a message saying that coordinates of that corresponding location or the corresponding city are not available. Alright, now what we can do is we can simply go ahead and run the script. And as you can see, it managed to extract the coordinates for the first city, but when it comes to the second city, it's searching. And once it discovers that it's not able to locate the coordinates, it'll actually not stop the entire process. Instead, what it would do is it'll simply display this message and skip over to the next city. And it'll do the same thing for every city for which the coordinates are not available until it completes the entire list. Alright, now you can see that the process has been completed, and if you head over to this variable explorer and if you open up the capital cities variable, you can see that still these text exist, and since it was not able to find the coordinates, you will see this NaN or not a number notation. But for the other cities for which it managed to find the location or the geographical coordinates, you can see that it filled it accordingly in this longitude and latitude columns, starting from the first row all the way up until the final row. So I guess that concludes the tutorial. If you do have any questions regarding the process that we discussed, don't forget to add a comment down below, and if you did like the tutorial, don't forget to hit that like button as well. And if you'd like to see this kind of interesting tutorials in the upcoming weeks, don't forget to subscribe to this channel as well. So I'll see you guys again with another tutorial very soon.